My name is Allie D. Medeiros, and I'm the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. Also present today from the Fair Housing Commission staff is Miss Alexis Enlow, who I've referenced, that's the case manager. And you'll also see somebody named PCHR FHC staff, that's Jo Maris Castro Almeida. She runs our Zoom hearings for us. Before the hearing, I'm required to go over a few things with you. First, you're being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, you can reach out to me or the case manager and we'll provide them with a copy of the video recording. Please be mindful what you're doing and saying because it is being recorded. Second, at 9 o'clock this morning, the commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss today's cases. We do that on every hearing day with every case. Third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind that the commission generally only reviews the very basic documents in a case prior to the hearing. If you would like a document reviewed by the commission, please reference it by a name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. Lastly, during the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they will invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. A prompt will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join when you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in the room. We will never end a hearing when you are in a separate room. Please make sure you're back in this main room and that a commissioner or staff member dismisses you before you log off or hang up. With that, I'm going to hand the case over to Miss Enlow, who's going to get the parties' names and spellings and swear you in. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is the matter of Jonathan Brooks versus Walker Court Holdings, LLC and Oakmark Management. This is the first fair housing hearing for this matter. The docket number is 2025-03-04-20002. At this time, beginning with the tenant, can you please state and then spell your first and last name slowly and clearly for the record?
Jonathan Eugene Brooks, Jonathan, Eugene, Eugene, Brooks, Brooks.
Thank you. Are you able to turn your camera on?
I'm currently on the phone. I'm trying to download the Zoom app as we speak.
It's okay.
I'm currently at work.
Okay, no, you're fine. If it's not technically feasible, it's okay.
All right, moving on to the landlords. Can you please state and spell your first and last name slowly and clearly for the record?
Moses Zaks, Moses. Last name is Zaks.
Thank you. And Mr. Gallagher, can you put your name on the record, please?
Certainly. My name is Bud, Budd. Last name is Gallagher, Gallahur.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to swear the parties in. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Counsel, can you please put your name on the record and state who you are representing?
Yeah, Mark Ronaldo, MarkRenaldo, and I'm here on behalf of the landlord respondent in this case.
Alexa,
The commission is
pause
sure.
for a minute. I had somebody named iPhone 7 come in. Is this Mr. Brooks on the iPhone?
Yes.
Okay. What's the plan? Do you want to stay on the phone or go on the iPhone with the camera?
Does it matter, or which one do you prefer?
It's nice for you to be able to see the screen because we put documents up.
Okay,
So okay.
Okay, I'm going to hang up on the phone and join the video.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right.
All right. So, Mr. Brooks, we've got you on. Can you hear me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to ask you to start your video and we'll see if we can see. Oh, lovely. Okay. Okay. Who's iPhone 3? Who was, oh, that was Moses, Mr. Sachs. Okay. Go ahead, Alexis. We're good.
Okay. The commission has 3 rules for today's hearing. First, do not speak over or interrupt each other, and do not speak over or interrupt the commissioners. Each party will have an opportunity to give testimony and present evidence. Second, please do not use generic phrases such as he or she. When you refer to an individual, please use the tenant, the landlord, or their name to keep the record clear. And third, when giving a date, please give a complete date that includes the year each time. The commissioners present today are Commissioner Butler, Commissioner Brunson, and Commissioner Baez. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to Fair Housing. Since the tenant has brought these issues to the commission, we'll begin with the tenant, followed by the landlord. Mr. Brooks, I have you filing this complaint on March 4th, 2024. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us what property we're here for?
Apartment 308 and 4214 Longshore Avenue.
Can you give the complete address?
4214 Longshore Avenue, apartment 308, Philadelphia, PA 19138. I'm sorry, 19135.
Okay, when did you move into this property?
I moved September 8th. I believe I have the date on my lease.
Can you provide the full
1 second.
address?
I moved in September 8th, 2024.
Okay. And are you presently living there?
Yes.
What is the monthly rent?
1075.
And when you moved in, did you pay a security deposit?
Yes, I paid 2 months.
And did you also pay first month's rent?
Yes.
Okay. When's the last time you paid rent?
The last time was December.
Provide the entire date, please.
1 second.
You can just provide the year.
Okay, it was December 2024.
Thank you.
December 17th, 2024.
And what have you done with the rent that you're withholding?
It's currently in my savings account.
Have you provided proof of that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, on the screen, we have a screenshot of an available balance of $1,935 in a savings account. And looks like 152302 in another account. Did you notify the landlord that you were withholding rent?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
Via email?
When you moved in or any time after, did you receive a certificate of rental suitability?
No.
You've never received a certificate of rental suitability?
No.
Okay.
I just received my lease that I signed.
On the screen, you're going to see a copy of her certificate of rental suitability. Does this look familiar to you?
No.
Okay. Did you receive a lead certificate?
No.
Okay. Do we have a copy of that? Yes.
Sorry.
Here's a copy of a lead certificate. Does this look familiar?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Can you tell me why you brought these issues to the fair housing?
I brought these issues because I was told that they were going to fix things and they haven't done anything. I
Can
moved
you-
in.
Okay,
sorry.
can you tell me what those issues are that you brought to your landlord's attention, when you brought them to their attention and when they were, if at all, resolved?
So it was the heat. It was the heater. I was out of heat for like 2 months.
Can you
It was really
provide timetable when you inform the landlord and if it is corrected by now?
I did notify them via email. I have everything in the document. I don't know the exact date that I emailed them, but I have what's that. It was the heating, it was the rodents, it was my roof above my apartment window, my baseboards, and my shower, the mold. And also it's leak in the walls. Like when it rains from the roof, I hear it through the walls.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to provide us some type of a timetable when you told them or how long these issues
Okay.
happen and when they were resolved.
Nothing was resolved, but the dates are January 8th that I emailed them.
Did you-
Regarding what issue?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yes, everything I submitted in my documents as far as the dates. It was the
Okay,
8th. I submitted a ticket on the 23rd of January for a ticket for the heating.
January 8th and again, January 23rd for the heating?
Yeah, yes. Another ticket was submitted on the 17th of December for the same issue.
And what exactly is the issue with the heating?
The issue was the heating at the time. It was no heat. There was no heat working at all, actually in the whole building.
Okay,
So the heating was fixed like randomly. And that was fixed, but I was out of heat for like 2 months. I had to buy space heaters to heat up the whole apartment. I use my gas oven to heat up the apartment as well.
Which 2 months were you out of heat?
The 2 months it was the coldest, December and November.
December and November, and it was fixed when?
Believe it was fixed maybe January.
Okay.
okay.
Next,
And what was,
I did have someone come out. The LNI, they did come out. When they did come out, apparently the heat was working. So
okay.
Mm.
And you said you had a rodent issue that you brought
Ye-
to your landlord's attention?
yes, it's rodents above that are living above my head in the apartment. And I don't know if it's squirrels, possums, rats, but they are actually living in there. And I hear them throughout the night and the day.
And when did you notify the landlord of this?
I notified them because there was an opening above my roof. The date I notified them was I believe it was the 23rd of January.
And has that been resolved?
Yes, I guess they closed the opening above my window, but it's still rodents living inside of the roof. So I believe they fixed the outside, but I don't believe they fixed the issue.
Okay. And is this the same issue that you're stating about the roof? Or
Yes.
are there any other issues?
The baseboards, I was promised that they were going to be put on the track correctly, and they're not on, they're falling off, they're actually hanging off. And the shower mold. They told me that I was going to get a new shower knob replaced. I haven't got that as well.
Okay. Are there any other issues?
I believe that's all. And the rain from the water leaking from the ceiling, from the roof. I hear it in the walls.
And what room is this in that you're,
The bedroom.
do you hear it after the landlord fixed the roof above the window?
I hear it every night.
Okay. Even if it's not raining?
Right.
so you said you're hearing it. Do you see water?
No, I hear water in the walls.
Okay.
Like it sounds like a slow leak, but it sounds like raindrops, like it's hitting against something that is in the walls or something coming from the roof.
And has the landlord come in to address this issue?
No.
Okay, are there any other issues you want to bring to our attention?
I have another issue. I am being I was being harassed about signing a new copy of my lease. I don't know why I was being harassed 6 months of me, 4 to 5 months of me living there, that I had to come into office to sign a new lease.
Okay. Were you given a notice to vacate?
Yes,
Is this February 19th, 2025? Is this the notice?
yes,
Okay. And this was for what, non-payment of rent?
yeah, correct.
Okay. You said that L&I came out also.
Yes,
On the screen, we have a notice that appears to have been closed regarding exterior structure. Was opened January 30th, 2025 and closed April 16th, 2025. And then there is another notice, violation that is presently open, March 31st, 2025, and remains open as of April 1st, 2025. Commissioners, do you have any questions of the tenant? Okay, with no response, we can move on to the landlord. Mr. Ronaldo, could you please address the delivery of certificate and lead safe to start off?
Yes, can I ask Moses, are you
Sure.
muted?
I'm here.
Good morning, Mr. Zaks. Could you just restate your name and relation to the property for the commission?
My name is Moses Zaks. I am the regional manager at Oakmark, um, for a bunch of properties, I guess.
Okay, and under your purview, does the unit in discussion today, is that one that you manage?
Yes,
Okay, and have you been in this position since Mr. Brooks moved into the property in September of 2024?
yes,
And was a certificate of rental suitability and Partners of Good Housing booklet given to this tenant?
it's standard practice to give it. I can't confirm that it was given at the time, but it is standard practice to make sure that everyone receives this as their move-in packet when they move in.
And could you describe for the commission what that standard practice is specifically? If it's hand delivered or delivered at the time that the lease is signed, just provide some
It's
information.
so generally, when someone comes in for a lease signing, they give a deposit and a first month's rent. And as soon as they get a certified check, the lease signing, certificate of rental suitability, and housing booklet are and lead safety certificate. This building happens to be lead free, so we don't have to re-inspect every 2 years, is provided to the prospective tenant moving in.
Okay. So based off this practice in your position, like you said, you can't confirm, but you would, if the protocol was followed, would it be fair to say that Mr. Brooks received this certificate as well as the lead safe?
Correct. Correct.
And then commission, I do have other questions relating to some other issues, but does that answer your line of questioning for the certificate? I know you wanted me to start with that.
Yeah, it does. However, we do not have the person who signed the lease with Mr. Brooks to confirm delivery. Is that correct?
Correct. She went on maternity leave over a year ago, and she had not over a year ago. I think no, I don't have the exact dates. I believe Mr. Jonathan Brooks could confirm that he signed it with the property manager at the time, Jennifer. Is
Jennifer.
that
Yes.
Jennifer?
Mhm.
We
Okay.
haven't. She hasn't returned, back yet. I don't know. I don't think she plans on.
Okay. Mr. Ronaldo, you can either cross the tenant or present your case.
Sure, I just would like to continue with, I believe, Mr. Gallagher. If I could ask you a few questions.
Certainly.
So, Mr. Gallagher, could you please restate your name and relation to the property?
Sure. My name is Bud. That's Budd. Last name is Gallagher, Gallagher. And I'm the super for the property.
Okay. And as a super, what kind of duties do you perform for the property?
General maintenance, general cleaning of the properties, also light renovations when we have a tenant move out to turn an apartment over for a new tenant.
Okay. And how long have you been in this position?
A little over 5 years.
Okay. And are you familiar with the unit in question today?
Yes, I am.
So you heard the tenant's testimony about various issues that he's claiming are happening within the property. Could you please explain to the commission sort of what efforts have been made to address any repair requests that you've received, and what the status of those are as of today?
Certainly. As far as any heating issues are concerned, um, during heat season, they're generally top priority. So if a request was made about an issue with the heat, I checked it out right away. And as far as that apartment is concerned, the next day, I believe I was out to take a look at heat issues, and I didn't find any issues with the heat.
Okay. And just
ahead.
real quick, I'm going to ask you to continue, but Allison, could you please pull up, I believe it's Exhibit E. It's the 2 work orders from the packet that was sent. Okay. And Mr. Gallagher, are you familiar with this work order?
Yes.
Okay. And could you let the commission know what efforts were taken to address this and why the status is marked as closed?
I myself went out to take a look at this apartment in question, to find out whether the heat was indeed working or not, and it was. So the issue was addressed, and and it was closed.
And Allison, I think there's one more ticket in there from December 17th. Mr. Gallagher, are you familiar with this maintenance request as well?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you the same question. Could you explain to the commission what efforts were taken to address this request and why the status is marked as closed?
Okay. New screens were put into the windows. They were actually measured, and brand new ones were made. And then when they came in, they were replaced. The baseboard in question are actually covers for the baseboard heat. They just click into place, so that was a simple fix. And as far as shower handles and mold are concerned, this apartment was totally renovated, so the shower handles were in good working condition, and there was no mold.
Okay. And outside of these two maintenance requests, specifically the one from January 23rd regarding heat, did you ever receive another maintenance request for issues regarding heat in the property?
With this unit or just in general?
With this unit, sorry.
That's all right. As far as I can recall, um, no, but if there were any other requests, again, as far as heat's concerned, during heat season, if there are any requests in regards to heat, I make sure that I check every single one of them out because that's considered a priority for us during heat season.
Okay. And you heard some testimony regarding a hole in the roof as well as the presence or alleged presence of rodents. Could you please speak to any requests regarding that particular issue and any efforts that have been made to address them?
Certainly. As far as that issue was concerned, we had an outside contractor, outside company, I believe, come to address that issue. It was a section of soffit that had actually been pulled loose by squirrels, but that's since been repaired. Again, it was addressed, as quickly as we could address it.
And when was that addressed?
I wouldn't be able to give you an exact date off the top of my head, but it was addressed. There is no longer currently an issue with that. I mean, that's as far as a day is concerned. I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly because I wasn't the one that addressed the issue.
Okay. And regarding pest control for the property, how is that generally handled?
We have a separate pest management company that takes care of the property. The tenants request service, and generally they come every other week.
Okay. And to your knowledge, were these services requested for this particular unit?
The majority of the time, the requests are sent through email to the office, so I wouldn't be able to speak on that for the most part unless a tenant directly walked up to me and asked, and then I would send the message to the office. But for the most part, it's done through email.
Okay. And my last question would be, you heard some testimony regarding the sound of water in the walls. Do you have any knowledge of an ongoing leak or any issues regarding leaking water in the property at this time?
No.
And have you received any complaints of that from either Mr. Brooks or any other tenants?
Other than what he testified to, no. And I haven't heard anything or seen anything from any other tenants, specifically or especially the two apartments directly below him. I haven't heard anything or saw anything from anyone.
Okay. And my last question would be, when was the last time that you were in Mr. Brooks's apartment?
That would be, I believe, when I was replacing the screens. Probably 2.5 to 3 months ago, I would say.
Okay. At this time, I don't have any further questions from Mr. Gallagher. I would like to ask a few more of Mr. Zaks, if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Mr. Zaks, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So you saw earlier presented on the screen, there was a notice to quit that was sent to the tenant. Are you familiar with that document?
I know what a notice to quit is. I don't know that specific one.
Right. So my question is, was a notice to quit sent to this tenant?
Yes, I believe so.
And why was that sent?
Lack of payment.
Okay. And when making the decision to send it, was anything other than the lack of payment taken into consideration?
No.
Okay. I have no further questions, commissioners.
Yeah, I would like to also ask for you to confirm with your client, when was the last time the tenant paid rent?
Oh, yes. Sorry,
Can
Commissioner.
Is that for me?
There's a ledger I can pull up, and then Mr. Zacks, I'll ask you to confirm it. I believe it's Exhibit C, Allison. Mr. Zacks, can you see the document on the screen? I think you're muted.
That is the correct ledger.
Okay, so at this time, the last time you received payment based on this document was December 17th, 2024?
Correct.
Okay.
And when the tenant moved in, what security deposit did the tenant give?
I believe it's on the ledger. Do you want to pull it up?
Sure.
I'm not, can I speak?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, and 9/5/2024, there's a security charge. And then if you see in this, that's the first column is charges, second column is payments. He paid $1,000 check and then a $75 check. And then he paid $705 for a mid-month move. His rent was $1,075 and it was prorated. And he overpaid by $95 for the first month rent. And that's why on the second month that he was living there, there was a $1,075 charge, and then he paid $980, leaving him with a $0 balance. So on and so forth till December.
Okay, was there a last month?
No,
Okay. And what is the status of the L&I violations?
we have an outside company that is taking care of the it's the smoke detectors and fire alarm control. So they have to just check everything and then they sign off on it and they submit it to, I believe, the city of Philadelphia on the online portal. And that will be done, in the next 15, 20 days. As assuming they wrap every year, they go through the entire building, every unit, make sure every single smoke alarm and fire alarm is working, and then they submit it.
Okay, there's also a violation for repair to cornice. What exactly is that? There was a fine.
Can you please pull it up?
Yeah, sorry. I think that might be related to the roof leak.
Commissioner, if I may, I believe it's one of our exhibits, Exhibit F. And I believe that one was passed on April 16th, if it's the same one that you're speaking of.
It is.
Okay.
This is your exhibit F. It's the same.
And I believe from my understanding, and Mr. Zacks or Mr. Gallagher, you could correct me, but I believe that was for there was a issue with the outside of the roof.
There's a soffit, the roof overhangs. There's a soffit that covers the overhang. We had a roofing company come out and just replace the soffit.
Right.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to ask the tenant, is there anything you would like the commission to know that you haven't already told us? You're muted if you're speaking.
I believe I said everything. Don't have anything else to add.
And thank you. Attorney Ronaldo, is there anything you would like us to know that we do not already know?
No, thank you for asking, but at this time, I think the evidence presented is sufficient.
Commissioners, are there any questions of either party?
No questions.
Okay, at this time, we're going to recess. You should see a notice to join a breakout room. All parties. Let the record show all parties have returned. want to make sure everyone can hear me. You could nod if you want, or say, yes, you can hear. Okay. The commission has arrived at a final order. And it states that we find that the CRS and lead was delivered at the inception of the lease agreement, signed lease agreement. The notice to vacate is invalid because it was sent with open L&I violations. The tenant will owe rent from starting in January through the present. There will also be a 30% abatement of rent for lack of heat for November and December. And we will ask that the landlord close the open L&I violations. Are there any questions? The dollar figure will be put into the final order, so the tenant will know exactly the amount that needs to be paid to the landlord. If there are any more questions or any questions, everyone's free to leave.
Will we, sorry for jumping in, we will also get that to correct the ledger. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll send it over to
Yeah.
you, Mr. Bex. We'll review the final order. It'll just restate what was stated today, and we'll have the number too.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. You're all free to go.